right, we're doing a little warm-up practice session for Joanne here. And this is going to be what I'm talking about. We talked about a rest stroke, which is striking the string. I'm going to start in the fourth, I'll call it the string, even though it's two strings, okay? They call it a course in one of those books.
I like the word pair.
And then pair. So I'm going to strike the fourth pair, and I'm going to land on the third pair as I do it. And I'm not going to kind of just hit it and then tentatively pick it up. I'm going to strike through these two, and this pair, land on the next string. And once I get this sounding consistent, again and again, resting on that third string, through the fourth pair, landing on the top of the third pair. And this is something that guitar players, banjo players, every string instrument there is that uses a pick uses this technique.
Is the mandolin the only one that has these?
Has rest strokes?
No.
Pairs of string?
Pairs of string.
12-string guitar. I'm doing the same thing. So if I pick a 12-string guitar and I'm picking through my 6th string, which is a high octave, I'm picking through both of them and landing on the A string.
So if you play a 6-string guitar, can you play a 12-string guitar without relearning everything?
Yeah.
You could just, I mean,
You just
you
have
play
to play through
way.
both strings now instead of one. All right, so we're going to rest stroke on the 4th string until it sounds good. And I don't want it to sound like two notes. I want one note. One note, good firm. What this does, it makes it a good, firm, authoritative stroke. Now the 3rd string, and we're going to rest on the 2nd string, being a rest stroke. Once that sounds good, thank you so much, Mr. Leaf Blower. All right. Now we're going to play the 2nd string, resting on the 1st string. Until that sounds good. Then we play the 1st string, and what you'll find, you'll move it about the same amount because you just did it on the other 3 strings. This is a good exercise. Now, even when you play that E string by itself, and even when you alternate, your hand's going to want to move that far, and that determines how far apart your strings are, how far apart your strokes are, even if you're alternating. You'll be obviously doing a little less downstroke on alternating than you would on a rest stroke because you want to come up and get that stroke. You are doing a downstroke, but you're not resting it against the next string. All right.
No.
All right. But you'll tend to do it more authoritatively after you do this rest stroke. Yeah. Especially for a musician. All right. Instead of okay. And now you're going to go home and laugh at it while you practice, and that's the idea. All right. So now, and what else did we have? Oh, we had economy of motion, and so we have, for instance, on that. Oh, this is a different book. We had. I know what it was. It was the Wildwood Flower.
Yeah, it's this book.
So the rest stroke, how we start talking about it is when we play
here,
these 3 notes. Right, we're going to play rest stroke on the first 3 pickup notes. Those are all rest strokes. And then we're resting now. Now we're resting on, I started at the beginning. Rest stroke, rest stroke, rest stroke, all down. And now I'm going to go, and now I'm already resting on the 3rd string. So I'm not going to have to look for it, right? Because I'm already resting on it after the 3 pickup notes. That's the advantage again of a rest stroke. Already on the string. Now I just play down through it, and then I go, and you could play rest strokes on all the ones that are just downs if you want to, but what it's really important is when you're going to be, like we talked about playing pool, when you're going to be playing that next string down, then you're already resting on it when you use a rest stroke, okay? And then we go, like for instance this one, starting on the 4th fret, 3rd string, down, down, up. Now I'm going to go play the 5th fret on the 4th string, down, and it's going to be a rest stroke, because now I'm resting right on the next note. Right? I'm going to do that again. Rest stroke. So that's where a rest stroke is really important and will really help you. We talked about economy of motion. So when I, for instance, when I play, when you were starting this, your fingers were way out here. I want you to put your index finger closer, just above the 3rd string, 2nd fret. So all you got to do is put it down, and it's already there. Like a pool player, I'm setting myself up for the next shot. And then now, instead of having this 3rd finger way out here somewhere, I want it just kind of, floating, ready to go to that 5th fret too. So all I have to do is put my fingers down. They're kind of already there, aren't they? You can't even see the frets because I'm not like this. I'm over the frets already. Then when I put them down, they don't have to come down far. My fingers don't have to come down far. Then I'm going to go. Now this is another one. So here we go, 2nd finger on the 4th fret, and you were kind of holding this 3rd finger out here. So you had to look and put it down here on the 5th fret. I want you to use this 2nd finger on the 4th fret, but just have this 3rd finger already floating around. And when you play the previous, so when I play this 3rd finger on the 5th fret here on the, what is that, the 1st measure, without the pickup. Now I put my 3rd finger down here, and you had your 2nd finger out here somewhere, and you had to look for it to put it down here. So what we're finding is, if we keep our fingers close to the fingerboard and in parallel, see how they're kind of parallel to each other with that 45 degrees again, then they'll already be just above the fret. Alright, so practice like you did last time, a bunch of times on each measure, but practice economy of motion, which you have written on your book. And then if I do that and keep these fingers here close to the frets, I'll find that, oh, my 2nd finger, it's already above the 4th fret. All I have to do is put it down on the 4th string. And then here I'm going to go. That one you may have to move your fingers, but if you don't start with your fingers way out, all the other ones out here, when one's on there, just put them all, hang them all above the frets, okay? So we're going to, as we play and press stuff down, we're going to try not to get that little finger go boing, okay, popping out like that. We're going to try, and again. Even though I am picking up, and you don't really have to pick up that 1st finger, except for you might need to stretch to that 4th fret. You could leave it down, then you're already there for coming back to the 2nd fret. That's another trick of speeding up your playing a little bit. But if it's a stretch that's hard for you, take it off, stretch the next finger up to the next place, which in this case is the 4th fret, and then, but I didn't really pick this 1st finger way back out again, or stick it out again. It's still hanging right above the, almost above the fret it was on before. Even if I lift it up, but it's still here. Alright, so that's economy of motion. And so rest stroke first, then alt and rest stroke without any left hand, and then rest stroke on a G scale, which is in your 1st book that you had, and we marked it down. It's pretty far back from Wildwood Flower, I do believe, or a few pages back anyway. What page is it on? The G scale. One back.
13.
Is it? Is that? That's it. That's it. 13. Page 13. So then that G scale would be like this.
Warm up first.
Yeah.
So you get it right.
Right. Exactly. And then, so we're going to go rest stroke without any left hand through each string, right? Then we're going to play the G scale. Rest stroke. And then, you know, if you get bored and you want to have some excitement, down, up, G scale. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
And you think that's exciting?
Yes, that's terrifically exciting. I can barely contain myself. All right.